Yeah. Well, good evening, everybody. Or is it good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And I am over the moon again to have these two beautiful women back with Aquarius, or Solutions with Aquarius Rising Africa. Because as I've said for the umpteenth time today, we got smacked on the wrist for sharing truths, but that's what we do. So, but this is very much solution orientated anyway. So welcome to the beautiful mom and daughter duo from Let Me Ask My Mom and Carmen and Carlisle. Welcome, welcome. I don't think I've had you two on for a long time. It's been a long time.
It's been a couple of months, definitely.
Yeah, it's been quite a while that I've had the two of you on together. So welcome, you two beauties. It's so good to have you. How are you, mama and daughter?
We're doing good. As you can tell, we're in hotel rooms. So
you're having a little hotel adventure, are you?
Yes, we're vagabonds right now. So, but it's been good. You know, I was telling Chantelle before we started that there's you get to the point where you think you've mastered a lot, and hardly anything will throw you off center. And this one did for longer than usual. For me. And so I'm just happy that, you know, I slowly got my groove back, and it just shows you how stuck in the mental constructs we are, that we have to have these mental spaces. And
Definitely.
If those spaces get disrupted in any way, we think, oh, this is bad. But really, how can I know that that's bad? I have no idea how this is going to turn out. It could end up being magical. So
absolutely,
we've righted ourselves, right, Car?
Yes, exactly.
I think it's so amazing because it's true what you say. You know, there are a few things that will knock you off center for a long time. But as we transcend and as we raise our frequency, it's almost like the challenges. Now we're going to get a whack of a challenge, and we kind of have to align ourselves with that. And, you know, I've always said, and I've spoken a lot about this on our shows, when I had that attempt in October. And in fact, when I worked out the date, it was round about the Halloween time as well. You know, when they smashed my window and the guy was in my room and I was like just reacting. I stood there and I couldn't run any further because there was just glass all over my floor. And I just said, thank you, God, show me what I need to see. And the first thing that came to me was to know that you are protected. So for me, that was the first thing that God's voice said to me. And, you know, I always say to my students and my clients and things, if your house is burning down, say, thank you, God. Show me what I need to see. If your mother ran off with your boyfriend, thank you, God. Show me what I need to see.
No, for real.
Mom, you better not do that.
I've dealt with that before, I'll have you know. But, you know, and it was amazing because in that moment, you know, literally the next day, by 9 or 10 o'clock, the guys were here taking out my sliding doors, replacing the new. By 12 o'clock midday, everything was done. That evening, the security guy from the security company stayed with me. We spoke a lot of things, you know, and it was just amazing to know that I was so supported by my community as a woman on my own. But so many other amazing things. And from that, we just, you know, we get the gift of the experience. So I'm very happy that you are back in your groove again and that you two are having this wonderful little visit, a little hotel adventure.
Yes.
Well, first we were at my sister's and now we're here. It's crazy how we've just been kind of all over the place. And like I was telling Chantelle earlier, you know, I really do. I love so much my life that I can reframe things so easily. But with this situation and, you know, having legal things coming in at me, it was Valentine's Day, like all this stuff all at once. And then just getting text after text after text from this crazy situation. And it literally took me 3 hours. But once I got there, I was so thankful and so like, okay, this is what I teach people to do. And it's possible. I did it, I think, in a really difficult situation. And so anyway, but no one's hurt. Everyone's alive. You know, nobody's sick. It's yeah, we're all good.
Just transcending challenges. That's very cool. How are you, Carlisle, through all of this? I haven't spoken to you for a while either. You've been out and about.
I know. And like I said, like I had to cancel the last one because that was when people were coming to our house to demolish a bunch of stuff, and it was going to be super loud. But I did a full moon parasite cleanse over the last full moon, and I was staying because we got kicked out of our house because there's mold and all these other kinds of things, which is a whole nother story. We'll have to do a whole episode on detoxing mold and stuff like that once I figure it all out. But I was going to, I'm still in the throes of that. But I was going to say, I was going to stay at my friend's house anyways when I was doing this parasite cleanse. So it kind of worked out well. I just kind of camped out at her house. And it was like 7 days. It was really gentle. And I did like a bunch of stuff leading up to it and helped open up my detox pathways. But I'd never done one of those before. So that was very exciting. But other than that, I've just kind of been enjoying all the extra time I get to spend with my mom and going out to eat and, you know, being a little mold refugee.
Yeah, that's fun, isn't it? You know, having the whole...
She calls us mold refugees.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing, because as you mold refugees are now angelically possessed, I would love to hear more about these wonderful angelic possessions that you're experiencing as you moving your way through this black mold. So that's wonderful. So tell me, how does it feel to be angelically possessed?
That's what I was telling Chantelle. That's what Carly said to me yesterday. When I was like, wow, I was listening to a victim, and she was talking about all of the different things. And then I listened to another video about a guy that was going through a lot of these same things where they're being attacked by certain numbers, just keep jumping out at them and telling them things, or it's very aggressive, and it's very like, do this, do that. And I was like, I have just the opposite. It's like this thing that just is so gentle and loving in my life. And there's just these reminders, and I look at it and she goes, oh, Mom, you're just angelically possessed.
But isn't that wonderful though, right? It's wonderful to have that feeling, to know that you are protected and divinely guided. I think that's amazing. Yeah.
I feel like I have
quite a journey. Sorry, Carla.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, I feel like I have an airport angel, because anytime I go to the airport, I always get things for free. Like people give me coffee or cookies, or things always really worked out well for me at airports. So I don't know how that works out in the angelic realm, but I definitely feel like I have an airport angel.
Those are important angels, I want to tell you.
Yes.
I've done a lot of traveling in my life. I must say the last 2 years I've calmed down on it. And it actually feels lovely not to be, wow. I mean, I was traveling at least 6-7 months of the year, and I'd be at least a month here, 6 weeks there, in, out. And so, you know, it's just like those airports would drive me absolutely batty, and sitting in these horrible little seats, and, you know, just, oh no, I'm just so happy not to be traveling at the moment. So those airport angels are really important ones. Yes. But it's amazing when you actually know that you have an angel. That for me is what's really, you know, you can feel it, you know it. As I was mentioning earlier on in my situation, my most recent situation, a couple of months back, I so knew I was protected. I so knew that I just felt this amazing wings around me type thing. And, you know, Dr. Zandre, who's South Africa's blood doctor, she's the one that's been doing all these blood slides. She's on with Amanda Bass a lot.
I watched that. It was so good.
Yeah, she's amazing. I mean, what a lady. I mean, that she actually, when she was young, she had a near critical car accident where everything was broken. I mean, the hip bone, the femur, punctured her womb, all sorts of things.
Wow.
The fact that she had a child was a miracle in itself. And
Absolutely.
she had, I think, as far as I know, 2 near-death experiences. And God said to her, you know, she didn't want to come back. And God said, well, wouldn't you like to come back and give people hope? And that's when she decided to come back. And, you know, when I read her not her autobiography, but her credentials, and sort of the first time I got to hear about her and who she is. And I always know that when people like that experience what they do and they come back literally from the dead, so to speak,
Yep.
they have a very important task to do. And yes, she is. She's had death threats and all sorts of things. And she has this beautiful saying that she says, God told her in uncertain terms, you're not hiding, but you're hidden. And it's incredible to know that she's not hiding, but she's hidden. And she walks around, and what a beautiful woman. I mean, really, really beautiful inside and out. So she walks around knowing that she's divinely protected, and she helps people. And I can't say too much.
Yeah,
for the
don't.
reason. That's the reason I got struck the last time. But you'll find it on our back channels, Odyssey and BitChute and stuff like that. But she works with the blood after and gives the, so if you've had it, clearing that stuff.
Looks like a star.
Clearing all of that stuff.
Like
2 syllables.
Exactly. So yes, we shall not say too much about that, because that is obviously a trigger for you know who.
Yeah. We want to keep them loving you, because I love your show. We can't have them mad at you. But you know, that was one of the things that I've actually been so astonished with, at least in my experience. Every single person who has gone against the narrative to the point of absolute, like, you know, any of these doctors, any of these whistleblowers, anyone, it really is driven by God. I have yet to experience one that doesn't. And I remember, and I've talked about this many times, but I remember going into really bad areas of Dallas with my guys out of jail and being just unafraid, completely unafraid. Now, would I go there now? No. And that's the thing, is you know when you have that anointing on you, you know. Absolutely. When you have it. So I love it. People always ask me if I'm afraid, and I'm like, no, I'm not. Exactly. I'm not. And I'm so thankful for all the other people who have faith that's so big that, you know, they have children and they still move forward, you know.
Absolutely. I fully agree. And especially in these day and age in which we're working and revealing and exposing the stuff that we are. Yeah. It's a blessing. But in my mind, there's just no other way. There's no other way. I couldn't not do it. I couldn't not do it. It's not knowing what we know, and to sit there and pretend it's not happening. It is so not in my realm. Can't. So therefore we know that there's absolute divine guidance and protection. And just, I think that knowledge is our protection. That knowledge that we are protected is our protection, which is amazing. And it's the strength. It's the strength from within, and getting up every morning and praying, meditating, asking for guidance and what today might bring, you know, and just knowing that I'm guided, knowing that I'm divinely protected, knowing that I'm doing what I'm here to do. I was born to do this, and no one can tell me different. So it's just a beautiful feeling. It's something that comes from within, right?
Yes. And it's funny, because that was one of the other things I wanted to talk about today. You know, when you think about who you are at a core level, I think that's one of the most beautiful things that this entire pandemic, all this crazy Luciferian things that are going on, it is driving people to shake their false image.
Mm.
We all
Mhm.
carried those pieces of ourselves that we presented for other people, we presented for constructs, we presented for culture. And it's just so nice to really come back to the basics and unfold. And I think that's that piece that actually feels like, you know, the universe is playing with you, or that the angels are playing with you, and they're inviting you into this place that is really you, like your real you. And when you think about, like, I don't remember where I learned this, but they were talking about angels being angles of light, and they're the
Mm.
messengers, and they come down on these, you know, these codes, these rays, these whatever. And when you think of them as angles of light, then all you're really doing is having the awareness that they're there and
Exactly.
engaging with that, rather than choosing to engage with the darkness. Because I do believe that there's ways that people can be oppressed to where they don't see it. But I also think that if you hunt for the light, those angles, those angels of light, you will find them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, the beautiful thing that I discover is that they always right there. It's really up to us just to be aware of that. They're always right here. You don't even have to hunt outside of yourself. It's the inward seeking and that knowledge that they've always been there and they always are there. And all you have to do is align with that. And that for me has been an amazing journey to just know that. It's the knowing, the inner knowing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know. I've
What
even
do you
had,
say about that? Sorry.
yeah, speak up, girl.
I like my favorite stories about people with, I heard this one, like, I think you told me this, Mom, but I was like a kid, and it was one of those things that really stuck with me. It was a story about someone who, they got in a car accident, and I think they like flipped their car over in like the middle of nowhere, or like off of like a little ditch or onto a cliff or something. And then they described how someone came up to them and they were like, whatever you do, don't move. Because, you know, like sometimes if you get in an accident and you move, you can end up injuring yourself further because like your spinal injury or whatever. And then when they finally got an ambulance there or whatever like that, and they were like, well, where's that person? I want to thank them for coming to my door and telling me not to move. And everyone was like, there was no person that came to your door and told you that. Like, no one saw any of that. They were just called and helped. And I feel like those type of experiences were that really just feels like an angel or an angle of light. I really like thinking about it in terms of that way. And I love what they say in the Bible about how God like assigns you an angel for your life or whatever. Mine mostly comes out of the airport for some reason. I'm like, okay, I need you to show up some other time. We can hang out all the time. It doesn't have to just be when I'm traveling. But
well, it must be your mama. It must be your mama angel there, because then when you're away from her, mama will send her angel after you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. I like that. But no, I've always felt very very, very lucky. But those are my favorite stories. And anytime anyone tells me experiences like they have where they feel like an angel just protected them, I think that's something that even people who aren't religious or spiritual can relate to. Like, everyone has one story that's kind of supernatural. And I think that is really, really, really cool.
Yeah. When my mom was dying of cancer, she got a brain tumor, was the last thing that she got, and she was unable to speak for a while. And 2 days before she died, my aunt was there, my sister was there, you know, all these people. I was too far away to be there, but she all out of nowhere, after not speaking for a while, was like, oh my gosh, do you see them? Do you see how beautiful they are? They're just flowing and free. And like, it was just like, she was literally describing angels and speaking after she hadn't uttered a word for so long. And it just gave everyone in the family such peace that and we kind of had this knowing, like, okay, I guess it's really getting to the end, you know?
Yeah. I think I remember when, also speaking about that, it was about 3 months before my fiance passed away. And he'd always said to me, he knew he was never going to reach the age of 30. And he knew he was going to go something to do with a car. He presumed a car accident or something, which it was in the car, but not an accident in the way that we understand it. But also about 3 weeks, and it was 3 months before he was finishing up the house. The roof, there were some roof tiles that had to be painted. We painted that. He was just doing 1 or 2 things. And he told me at work his filing system was like a grade 1 child would know what was going on then. He was very much he was an engineer and stuff like that. So he was quite meticulous in many ways. But that to me was amazing because he then also started seeing spirits. And he obviously the veil between the physical world and the spirit world became thinner and thinner. So he was able to connect with spirits. And it was amazing because I also, when he passed away, my friend who's a medium, and I actually went to see her, and which I also knew, I had a very strong sense of his last moments in the car. And he was sitting, and the guy had the gun to his head, and he was driving. And he just said he felt an absolute sense of calmness. He knew this was the end for him. There were, I think, if I remember correctly, 3 people he regretted, other than obviously his family. 2 people, it was myself and my son, and he wanted to say goodbye to us. But other than that, he was completely at ease with what was going on. And I think, when we're also hearing stories about these horrible rituals and these sacrifices and things that go on with these children, a lot of the people I've spoken to, when they say, for example, they would watch these little children go through these horrors, but yet they have this complete angelic look on their faces. They're completely at ease. I'm sure they might be drugged or hypnotized or something like that as well. But it's like they know what's happening, and it's like at the end, and they know they're crossing over. So it's almost like that blissful feeling. I've also heard that people who are on death row have a similar experience. They've been just before the execution, they are at such an amazing sense of peace. If they've call it repented, taken responsibility, come full circle, in that way, there's that wonderful sense of peace that they reach in their lives when they know they're going back home again. And I have no other, in my understanding, there's no other word than really just finding that angelic presence, and as you say, those angles of light where you just attune to that, you connect with that, and that's what it is, which is amazing. Yeah, makes a lot of sense, right?
Well, and then sometimes they come to you in dreams, and then like you were saying, meditations. I have a friend who literally had right before her son died, a dream where her son came to see her. Like, he was in the hospital, she was going to visit him in the hospital, but then the perfected version of him, the heavenly version of him, walked in to tell her that everything is okay. Amazing. And she got this dream, she had this dream exactly a week before he passed. And it was a drug overdose. And it's just amazing to me that while she's sleeping, the presence of God, the presence of this unbelievable power that creates the world, is taking time to give her this message so that she can have peace when it happens.
Absolutely.
So it's very similar to your situation.
Absolutely.
I have one of my sister's really good friends. They were at the Galleria, which is like this huge place to shop here, like a big mall. And they had a stroller and they were walking across the street and this car just came out of nowhere. And this man came and moved the stroller. And it's the same story as the one that, Carly had told, could not find the guy. Literally, where did this guy just disappear to? Like, and this is like firsthand account of somebody I know. It's not something I read in a book. It's really cool when you hear those stories.
Absolutely.
If it's not your time, it's not your time. God can move. He can do anything.
And by all
Jesse
accounts,
kind of freaked me out with the demons being assigned to us.
Yeah.
I think she said that in one of the shows. I could be wrong, and so don't quote me, anyone out there. But I thought she said that that someone is there's someone from the dark side assigned to you.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah, because I've definitely seen people I've seen the angel and I've seen their demon. So it's the polarizations. If we just look, this is a world of polarizations, right?
Yeah.
So we have the choice. We have the choice to follow the light or to follow the dark. That's always our choice. And if we're going to follow the light, then of course that angle of light will always be there for us. And if we make the choice to follow the dark, then
dim.
well, yeah, I was going to say the shadow,
the less light.
It'll always be all creepy in the background, like come hither.
They're prowling, right? Isn't that what the Bible says? They're prowling.
Yeah, they call them the prowlers. That's absolutely right. Your prowler angel.
Yeah. Mindy Joe just said, yes, I was taught that growing up. I was told it ties into bloodline curses. Interesting.
What, the demonic forces? Is that what they're saying?
The one that's with you from the time that you were born? That makes sense because, those bloodline curses can go back. What do they say?
Then that must mean that all of us have bloodline curses on some level, which makes sense because we're here on earth for a purpose and a reason. We take we're in our human bodies for a purpose and a reason, and temptation will always be the order of the day for us, right? It's part of life here on earth. So you could get tempted into anything. I mean, every single person that has lived enough years will understand temptation is there. Temptation is there, So, do you stand up strong and say yes or no? And maybe that's how we break these generational curses as well, is by literally saying no to whatever we know is not good for us. I mean, we just let's take something as arbitrary as alcohol,
right? Which
really is, I think the Latin word is ghoul or something. Which really
a ghoul.
Yeah. Which is that lower vibrating demon that literally eats the spirit. So, which is why a lot of alcohol would be called spirits then, right? So think about when people are in an alcoholic haze. Let's say they can't deal with their challenges in life, so they use alcohol as a suppressant, crutch, and how often don't we see people who have taken too much alcohol literally behave in a way that makes absolutely no sense at all? They like flip from that to that, right?
Not even them. Yep.
Exactly. So, and that's when that ghoul or demon takes over that body because it's such a low vibrational entity. Right. And then it does things. And that's why a lot of people will then blot out. And which makes a lot of sense, actually. It's almost like you're having that personality split, the DID, right? which we're hearing about so often nowadays as well. Literally, that split personality, doing things, saying things, behaving in a way that you never ordinarily would. And the next day, what's crazy, and let's say you would then be away and you could have sex with someone else, a one night stand, and you're married or something, and the next day you go, oh my God. And then guilt sets in, right? And guilt, we know, is the strongest emotion in the fear-based camp, because as long as there's a sense of guilt, there's a sense of non-deservability, which translates into lack of abundance. So abundance of anything. And then you have this in your energy, and you go home to your partner, your spouse, but this thing won't allow you to move forward in your relationship. It eats away at your spirit, literally. And the more you have that, the more you then want to drink or take drugs or whatever, and the more destructive that force becomes. It's very interesting. So unless you actually sit and acknowledge, clear it, repent from it, whatever, you know, people will call it different names. It will always be there, and decide, you know, and that's what Jesus said, the truth shall set you free. So be truthful, take the chance of being truthful, firstly with yourself, secondly with whoever you need to be truthful with, and then walk that path from there. That's how you clear it, you know, because honesty and truth is your freedom. That's what buys you your freedom. That is your currency of freedom, is your truth. It's the highest form of love. Begins
My
with
best
you.
friend. My best friend is truth. My buddy. Other than you, Carly, you're my best friend.
I was going to say, you have a proper best friend called True, or you're just talking about your angel called True, or your angel of light?
Just truth. It's just, it has become a person in my life. It's become alive, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely.
It shows up for me. It's wild to me how 3D it is.
Yeah.
Even though it's, you know, it's a concept, a spirit, whatever. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it literally has shown up like a friend, reliable, and absolutely freeing me over and over again. But
that's because you've become true to you.
True to me, and absolutely have to hold that sacred. You know, it's like Carly and I talk about, like, we're not big salespeople. We're not out. Like, I can't have a marketing funnel connected to me because I don't believe in it. I don't want somebody to purchase something from me because I have a good marketing funnel. I want somebody to purchase something from me because they genuinely, from the core of their heart, want to work with me. And I feel like that's the future, but I feel like most people are still stuck in the marketing funnel. Yeah.
Totally. So, that's what we're saying. So it's like, when you are in your integrity and in your truth, and you know that what you are offering, whether it's a service or a product or whatever, when you know that that is coming from your truth and your integrity, those who are going to connect with you are going to connect with you on that frequency. And that's when you have a transparent business. That's when you have a transparent life. That's when you have transparent friends. That's when you attract those who are on their truth into your life as well, which is a beautiful thing.
And too, I mean, I'm sure you see this with your practice, but if I'm the kind of person that doesn't really hold truth as sacred, then anyone in my field is going to be harmed by that.
Yeah.
Anyone I work with will be harmed by that. And so then it becomes essential, because I don't want to harm anyone. And then you start looking at, you know, as you get into those higher and higher levels of understanding, when God gifts you with these epiphanies, you realize that unity is a thing, and whatever, you know, I do to you, I actually do to me. And so
we are one.
You know,
absolutely, we are one.
And so that's a big truth that a lot of people haven't even come close to realizing, because there's so many things they wouldn't do, like sue the people living in their house.
Exactly. You know, exactly what you're doing to another is what you're doing to yourself.
Yes. And that's why, you know, biblically it says, don't take it to court. Go fix it outside of court. Go, you know, let that be the last resort.
Yeah, exactly.
because God
You know,
knows. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm trying to help you out. Don't go sue that lady because it won't go well.
yeah, exactly.
She's gonna win this one in the spiritual realm for sure.
Exactly. Exactly. And then of course, if she's winning in the spiritual realm, it has to be in the physical realm, right? Because it's got to match there.
Yeah. It's not a fair fight sometimes.
Yeah. It's very interesting. So yeah, it's exactly that. When you're true to yourself, and what you do unto others, you're doing to yourself, and what you're doing to yourself, you're doing unto others.
Mhm.
So it really is. It's a beautiful way to look at it and understand it in that way, because you wouldn't want to hurt someone knowing that you're hurting yourself.
Mhm.
Yes. And the more people who treat truth and joy and curiosity with the highest regard, then obviously the bigger example there is out there. And the bigger the example, the more people who can reach for it. And I think that's essential. If we don't have anyone living the things that everyone's telling you to do, I'm gonna tell you all these things to do, but then I'm gonna have a marketing funnel on my website. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work that way.
Absolutely. That's so true. And that's what this whole 5D consciousness for me is about. We're moving into this place where we want to support each other's businesses and take care of each other in that way, but it's got to be coming from the heart space, and whatever that is for every person, whatever your product or service is, it's got to be coming from the heart space, which is very important.
It's nice to know that people that aren't like the old me didn't recognize anyone that wasn't like me. So I would be hurt by people who weren't like me because I always gave them the benefit of the doubt. And now it's the opposite. I use that law of correspondence. I'm watching every single thing they do, and they're always telling me who they are. And so I know the people that I can embrace and work with, and the ones that aren't ready to collaborate. They could be my friend, they could work with me, but they're not true collaborators. And a true collaborator to me is somebody who actually wants to serve others in that body of Christ. And but you can't be a part of the body unless you are in that faithful, collaborating, loving, treating others as you would treat yourself space. It's impossible. Absolutely. It won't work.
No. And more we're going to be seeing that, I think.
Yes.
And it's exactly, that's what we say. As we ourselves move into that space, so then old friendships, relationships, whatever, will dissolve and wither away. And it's not about, and however that happens is relevant to each person, but it's about letting go, let go and let God, and realizing that people may be coming to our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And if that season is over, or if that reason is over, then it doesn't have to be bad feelings. It's just, okay, thank you for the journey. Thank you for the lesson. Thank you for the experience. It's been amazing. I'll see you on the flip side.
And you're okay with it because you know that was God ordained. That was part of what God orchestrated. And you don't get butthurt that somebody left your flock because they need to be in the other flock for a while, or whatever it is. But then, it's funny. I think about Carlisle and how she's joking that she only has, airport angels, but really she has bodily angels. Like she knows her body. She feels, it's almost like her body talks to her. And so it's really fun. And I have to tell you, if you have not gotten that dental soap that she was talking about,
it's so good.
Oh my gosh. The greatest toothpaste I have ever used in my life. It literally feels like you just went to the dentist and had a cleaning. And you can literally tell if you missed a spot. And I was like, this is so crazy. I can tell, like usually you brush your teeth and it just feels fresh. This literally, like, you can feel how slick your teeth are. And then if you feel a spot that doesn't feel as slick, you're like, oh, I got to go back in there.
Wow.
So cool.
It's
That's
amazing.
that's the product we were talking about last time, Carla.
Yeah.
Yes. It's her name is
Toothpaste angels.
Yes, I do. I love it so much. Her name is Rupam Henry, and the website is rupamherbals.com. And I just got the starter kit that has the dental soap. You only need to use 1 drop, and it still foams like a real toothpaste, because a lot of those like all natural toothpaste kind of taste like bark, or they don't really make your mouth feel very clean. But it's very like foamy, and it tastes good, and it makes your teeth feel so good. And I've already noticed my teeth are a little bit whiter because it has a lot of minerals in them too. And then I got the mouth rinse and the stain remover and some floss. So I literally just tried everything, but I've gotten so many people to order it.
This is American, right? This is from America. The product's in America.
Yes. I think they ship out of the country. But yeah, I think they're made in California.
It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. And it's just, but that's like, she has those kind of angels. She gets led down these beautiful, like,
I love that. Because really your body is the manifestation of your spirit. So when we take care of our bodies, which we should all be doing, it really is an indication to me that you love your spirit as well. Now,
I agree.
Which brings us on to the next point, because we were going to talk about the lymphatic flow today. Yes. And that is such an important thing, talking about body angels and stuff. So tell us what you are up to, young lady, with all of that stuff going on.
So I decided I think it'd be fun to spend each different month of the year kind of focusing on a different organ or a body system or things like that. And so just spend a little extra time doing 1 to 2 things every day extra for that. And I, like my mom says, I just am very in tune, and I kind of have been feeling like stagnant lymph in my body. And I had some swollen lymph nodes ever since I got sick in December. I had a little lymph node on my neck that's a little bit swollen, and one kind of by my ear, which, like I said, we were living in a house with mold, and that is very inflammatory to your sinuses. So it could also be that. But you know that your lymphatic system is going to help protect you from things like that. So you really want to get it moving so you can get those pathogens out. And especially because our lifestyles generally now are so sedentary. Like I feel like kids, you watch like a kid run around, and even adults who work out are usually doing the same exact motions over and over again, but they're not like stretching and reaching and doing like dancing and shaking and like random things that kids do. And I feel like a lot of those things
twirling,
twirling, like a lot of those things really get your lymph moving more so than just, lifting weights or doing things like that. So, and we know that there's even more lymph in your body than blood. And so I've been doing a lot of self massage, which is very easy and very relaxing, especially on my face and on my neck, because we have a lot on our head, our neck, under our arms. I've been doing castor oil packs. I even do them on my boobs because I know that you have a lot of lymph nodes in that area. So I'll do castor oil packs on my chest, or on my stomach. I do a lot of massage. I try and do every day. I do a breathing exercise with like breath holds. Because proper breathing, where you're getting like that really good deep belly breath, is really good for getting the lymphatic system moving. So every day I'll do some type of massage and a breathing exercise for sure. And then we're not at the house, but I go there every day to feed the cats and stuff like that. We have one of those little mini trampolines. They're called them rebounders. Yeah. And so it's good to jump on that for 5 to 10 minutes. And it's really fun too. Like that's something that's kind of like enjoyable to do. The one thing I haven't tried yet is dry brushing, because that is something I tried a few years ago, but my skin is very sensitive. So I just got to find a brush that's a little softer.
I love dry
it just made me so red. So I just need to find a really soft brush that I can do it with. But yeah, that's what I'm going to try this week. That's my next little thing to try, because I've never really, really gotten into that. And I wanted to get like a full on lymphatic drainage session, like massage, like the full 1.5 hour one where they do the whole thing, because that feels like it would be really good. But definitely, I feel like one of the most underrated things is the proper breathing. Like every time I do even just a 10-minute breath exercise, like you can just feel all of the fluids in your body moving so much better. And it's such a good feeling. So I feel like that is something everyone should be doing, even if it's just, 10 minutes a day.
I love that, because firstly in yoga, that's the first thing we understand, the importance of the breath. I mean, your breath is literally the fuel for your body. And in yoga, that really is pranayama, is the is the practice of the breathing. So you get the different types, like Nadi Shodhana is where you'll be taking it in and out from the right to the left. It's amazing. And then you do the Kapalabhati, we call it, which is the breath of fire, and you're cleansing the digestive system. It is incredible. And just the actual practice of, or the breathing, the breath work through the practice of yoga. And of course, I love yoga. I've been doing it for more than a decade now. And the breathing, the twisting, the stretching, the releasing. I tell you this, that's one of the reasons I'm very healthy. And that's one of the reasons I know that I'm healthy, is because of that. And then, of course, what you're talking about, the dry brushing, I mean, is amazing. I've been doing that for a decade or more as well, along with the oil pulling, which is very good for draining the sinuses and everything as well. The neti potting is incredible because it also clears the sinuses. And, that, of course, is your body's first defense. But also what I love and what I've been doing quite regularly is the cupping. The body cupping.
Oh, yeah.
It is amazing. You start with a face, you go, I always start like the chest and the face, the arms, and then the belly, the back, and the legs, and the thighs, and the buttocks, everything. It is amazing. The cupping system, if you can do that, that is incredible as well. So I definitely, I try and do that every day. It takes quite a while though. But at least half an hour, if you're doing the whole thing. But I don't have kids and husbands and things, and I know neither do you two, but I know some, there might be quite a few other people who really, but if you do that, or at least every second day, I'll do that. And there is nothing, because obviously the lymph is the toxins in the body. So if the lymph is not moving, your body gets toxic and heavy and sluggish, and nothing moves properly. And as we know, everything in the body needs to flow. As women, there's 80% of our body that consists of water. So we've got to make sure that water is flowing and it's cleansing and it's moving, and everything is in a way that it can be beneficial to our health. Speaking of which, I haven't taken a sip of my water yet, and you can see this is my granddaughter's bottle.
Oh, that is so cute. It looks like a Hello Kitty one.
It's a Hello Kitty Tupperware bottle, which I've had in my cupboard. So I drink out of it every day. So every time I drink out of it, I think about it.
I love Hello Kitty stuff. That's so cute.
There we go.
That is just precious.
Course, nothing gets the lymph flowing more than your 2 liters of water a day, right? And your lemon water in the morning. I mean, these are the things that I've been doing for a long time, and they work. Seriously, they work. It's just amazing. Yeah. But I love Carlisle, the focus that you have on your body. It's such a good thing, and it's so helpful. It's not like coming from, you must wear this makeup and that's the best cream to use for that and what have you. It's coming from a natural place. Natural is always better. So less to me is more. So
I agree.
I mean, for me, coconut oil and funny enough, you're talking about the castor oil. I was talking with Bryce the other day.
I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, well, she does, also in her yoga practice, which is the Ashtanga practice, which I haven't done yet. Once a week, they'll do the castor oil pack on the entire body.
Wow. So, cool.
To sit for hour and a half with castor oil in the bathroom, warm, towels wrapped around you, and just allow it to draw the toxins out of the body is just an amazing thing. I haven't done it yet. I was going to do it. I was going to say, okay, Friday night date. That's my, because they don't practice on a Saturday, because their Saturday is their off day, and so she does it on a Friday. I went, yeah, mama, single women's Friday night date.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's such an advantage. It gives us so much more time. And Carly and I do them with heating pads. So we'll get a damp like woolen flannel cloth, and we'll put a load of castor oil on, like our stomach or our wrists or anything that's aching, because not only will it break down pathogens, but it'll also give you some more lubricant in, you know, like your ligaments and places that you need them. So it's really, and I have a friend who could not play softball. He's in his 40s, could not play softball. He started doing his knees and he's back to playing softball again.
Wow. And I'm a great believer in that. I have not done that yet, and I'm definitely going to be doing it this Friday night. That's my date.
What does your Friday night date look like?
That's cool. I love that.
I was all oiled up, baby. What can I say? I was oiled up in my bathroom.
That is hilarious. I love that.
So yeah, I will be doing that, and then also the hair, because you know I usually put coconut oil. I usually do coconut oil and olive oil. They're my best friends. Yeah. Those seem to be the only oils that don't. My skin is sensitive, so a lot of the oils, if I use them repetitively, even the grape, because I was using the grapeseed oil, was giving me a rash. So so coconut oil, olive oil are the only, and I must say castor oil, but I was cleaning my face with the castor oil, you know, doing oil cleansing with castor oil. And you put a little bit of peppermint in that, which is lovely, just to give it.
That sounds amazing.
Nice. Yeah, but definitely, and so my oil pulling is with coconut oil. My hair is with coconat oil, and olive oil on my body as well. Instead of using moisturizing cream and stuff, I'll just put oil on my body. I have for longest time, so it's lovely.
Yeah. And then my son gets mad at us. He's like, "Do you guys have any lotion?" And we're like, "Oh, well, we have this kind of oil." And that I just want lotion.
Like, well, sorry.
But there's so much nonsense in lotion. If you think about all the stuff they're putting in there, it's all flipping cancer-causing stuff, most of it anyway, you know, unless you really unless you're going really organic. But I mean, just extra virgin coconut oil, you know, the best. Perfect. And olive oil, those are my babies. I love that.
Yeah. No, I'm totally the same way. And it's like so much cheaper than buying something with like, even like the super organic brands. Some of those can get really pricey for a small amount. So you can just, you know, we should do a show one time where we just go over all the products we really like. Cause I have so many things like I have really got high quality castor oil that I find, or face washes, or all different kinds of things I use.
2 weeks time we do that. How about the next show we do in a fortnight? Let's that's a great thing, because what we're also doing on this channel is we're going to start, in fact I wanted to do it on Aquarius Rising Africa now, but while we're still building this channel as well, because but obviously now with our little strikey but is to advertise products like that. So services or products that are in line with the 5D consciousness. So in other words, cruelty-free, earth-friendly, animal-friendly, human-friendly, less is more. And I mean, as I said, one of the things I've been using is the cups. I've discovered them in the last 2 or 3 months. That is just phenomenal. Honestly, the cups are phenomenal. And you know, clothes brands that we wear that are not these name brands that we know by now have all got the hexy things on them anyway. So we go for small businesses, small people. So I want to just say at this point, if there's anyone watching who has products that they'd like to advertise on the show, we do a promo on it, we've got something going there, please contact me and we will definitely make it happen. But I love that idea of doing the products, the good products, what we use, how we use it, why we use it. And that'll be a great one for the next show. I think that'll be awesome.
Yeah, because people ask me all the time about different things that I use, and so I need to make a little spreadsheet of it so I can keep track of it all. But I really like trying to find the best of everything, and I'm pretty picky, but I also know that I don't want to spend insane amounts of money, and I believe that simple and natural is best. So I think that would be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And I definitely want to hear more about your tooth products, because although I've discovered also toothpaste that I really like that is fluoride free, it's not easy to find them. And I use that a lot. And then obviously with the oil pulling, that for me is what I've always used and the other stuff. But I would love to see that product that you have. And if it's available here in South Africa, I hope it might be. And then I would definitely like to get my hands on that. That's for sure. Definitely.
Yeah, it's so nice. I love it. And it's just, that's what I like the most about it, is you only just need a tiny bit and it goes so far and your teeth just feel
it's amazing.
so good.
I think you will love it if you can get it there. Hopefully you can. We can send you some if they won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love that. But the postage at the moment is so expensive. I've got a lot of people in America. I mean, it's just like, it's hectically expensive to get stuff here, which I'd love, but we can check that out. If it's not available here, I'm sure we can make a plan. Definitely. I would love to. Definitely. Definitely. Yay.
Well, sounds good. Thank you so much for having us.
It was so fun.
Just bombard you today. May you be bombarded by angels, and may they leave lots of lovely comments. We need comment angels.
Yes.
I have to share the weirdest one I've ever gotten was yesterday. This guy wrote, "Oh no, not you too, Carmen? ? Why? What is it with the baseball cap?" Or like he literally went off about because I was wearing a baseball cap, I'm on like some bad team. Like, I don't know, but I just thought it was hilarious. So may you get angelic comments.
What, you mean he was asking you why you were wearing a baseball cap and he was being mean? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it just was so out here. I'm going to just pull it up because I don't want to say it wrong. But it just was so bizarre. And of course I blocked him. So he won't know about this, but I just thought it was the oddest comment that I even pinned it because I was like, okay, people need to see this. And he starts it out with SHIT ... So you too, Carmen ? You know what gave you away, right? Freaking baseball cap. Same cheap trip. Other fake friends and fake humans using, just like you right now. And it goes on and on. Don't you dare hurt this young lady that I was interviewing and
what? You kidding me?
No. That's strange.
So weird.
Don't wear a baseball cap, or maybe let's all wear a baseball cap.
I was going to say, let's all put our caps on.
Yes.
I can't say I've got a baseball cap, but I have one that kind of looks like a baseball cap.
Yeah.
We all had our shoulders showing. Remember that?
I know, but we have to have our shoulder and the strap
I got mine.
Shoulder and the strap showing. Yeah, we're definitely going to be doing that for sure. Wow. No, I mean, there are definitely some mean people out there. Really, there are. But, I don't think a lot of people understand what it takes to actually sit on these platforms, put yourself out there and have literally thousands and thousands of people watch you. And you have that kind of response from people. You got to, we grow thick skins, but it's still, when people are mean like that with for no apparent reason, well, he's obviously having a bad day. Maybe maybe he's just unhappy, unfulfilled, and trolling. So that'd be.
I just thought it was funny. Thought I'd share it. That's why I pinned it.
Thank you.
It's not even offensive or anything. It's just bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's hope he's watching this channel, so he knows that we've made him famous now, whoever you are.
Well, thank you so much for having us. I have to roll. I've got to get ready for something, but I love you so much.
Love you girls so much. Thank you. God bless you both, and lots of angles of light to you.
Yes.
And I wish you all the best with your hotel adventure, and may you go back to your beautiful home, mold free, and as soon as soon can be. Take good care of yourselves. I look forward to
Bye.
seeing you back in 2 weeks' time, though.
Yes.
Lots of love to you. God bless you, Carla.
Oh, love you.
Love you too.